Hi guys, look at my microphone. Somebody likes it? Well, let's get started. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Emmy. Everybody tuning in for the first time, I welcome you. I celebrate you for trying this. And for my regular viewers, you are just awesome. You're just awesome. I love you and God bless you. And I hope I can spend this time with you. I hope the time that you invest in this video will be worth it. Okay, so let's get started. My name is Emmy. Did I say that already? For first time viewers, so I do these videos because I love to give back. I have been blessed so much by reading books, by watching videos, so I also want to bless others. So I want to begin by saying you are enough. You who is watching me, you are enough, 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 just as you are as a human being. So I want to start by telling you, let's start by telling you a story of Marilyn Monroe. If you don't know that name, then that means you're really young. But let's start with that. So Marilyn Monroe was an icon, a sex symbol in the 60s. So she was very successful. She had a very good career. Like I said, she's a sex symbol like a Beyonce right now. So she died, or she killed herself at the age of 36. She had been married 3 times and rumored to have had multiple affairs with very powerful men. But back forward, Marilyn grew up in the orphanage, grew up in the foster system because her mother was mentally ill, so the state took over and she moved. If you know anything about the US foster system, I am so involved in that as well. I know a lot about the foster system. But if you know anything about the foster care system, is the children go from one home to another because they are trying to survive, so they have a lot of behavior issues. So Marilyn was taken from one foster home to another. One of the foster homes, foster mothers that took her told her, "Don't call me mother because I'm not your mother." Oh, it must have been devastating for a child. So Marilyn grew up very confused, very isolated, feeling very unloved, feeling very unworthy. So she believed she was not enough, and at the age of 36 she overdosed and killed herself. Gloria Steinem talks about a story about when she was talking with Marilyn, and Marilyn said this, that I admire all these people. She was talking about other actresses and celebrities. So she said, I admire all these people, but I'm just not good enough. So Marilyn grew up believing that she was not good enough, even though everybody was worshiping and adoring her. You know, I was reading some of the responses in one of our videos for one of our fans said these words or wrote these words: there is no way she committed suicide when she had everything. No, this person is assuming that the public life that Marilyn, you know, that's such an assumption that we know somebody based on their public life. Of course, she was a very lonely kid. So I'm here to talk about us feeling enough and not feeling enough. So I have a question for you. What childhood experiences do you carry in your adulthood life? You know, the Apostle Paul wrote in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verses 11 says, when I was a child, I spoke like a child, I thought like a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. So this conversation, I'd like to encourage you to put away childish things. You know, when we were children, I don't know what experiences you're carrying as a child. I don't know whether your parents or the substitutes of your parents were neglectful, or perhaps they were abusive to you. You know, people in power can be very powerful, can be very influential, especially to a child. So we are all introjects of our parents and our parent substitute. I don't know what part of your childhood that you carry today in your adulthood. So some experiences really stifle the child in us not to grow. Perhaps you are neglected, perhaps you're abused. The father that calls you names every day, stupid, you're an idiot, you're ugly, every day, those are very powerful words coming from a person who you look up to protect you, to care for you, to look up to for everything, to look up to care for you, to look up to guide you. And you're getting those words that you are silly, you are ugly, I wish I didn't have you. Or you have a mother who beat you every day, called you names, took out her frustration on you. Those experiences do stifle a child in us. So I don't know what part of your emotions were affected, and I'm here to talk about that. So don't forget that I said you are enough. I don't care what they told you. You are enough. You are enough. You are enough. Some experiences are really, really terrible. And as kids, we respond to abuse and neglect helplessly because we are children. But then, because the child in us was stifled, we forget that we are now adults and we can have that child grow again. We can help that child in us, whatever experiences that we had, we can have that child grow and thrive. We can grow our emotions, we can grow our conversations. That if we hear people arguing, we should not be so terrified because of that child that was terrified, that we can now defend ourselves. If you have a parent that makes you, or if you have a parent that made you feel inadequate, I bet they are still following you today. Someone was telling me a story, someone I know and someone that I love told me that his dad called him to embarrass him in front of his wife and told him that he was so stupid. An abusive dad still following you just to diminish your power and to spoil your relationships, to shame you because you moved away. Now he still wants to follow you. So parenting is very powerful, and if you've been given that opportunity to be a parent, I hope that you don't carry forward the child in you that was abused or the child in you that was neglected to your children, so that you can I hope you will break the cycle. So people who feel inadequate today, if you feel inadequate today, if you feel isolated, if you're feeling unwanted and unloved like Marilyn felt, if you consider yourself worthless, if you're in a state of constant anxiety because you are exposed to so much abuse, you don't know, it's like you are in a constant state of anxiety because of that unresolved fear. Perhaps you had a dad or a mom who, when they come home, you have to look for a place to go because you don't know what's gonna be happening. I want you to get over that. In a way, I'm not diminishing your experiences. Those are terrible experiences. I just want you to be aware that you're no longer a child and you're no longer in their mercy, that you can grow that child. When you're a child, you're looking to survive, you're looking for security, and you're looking to be safe, and you responded based on those basic needs that you needed to survive. And when we go on survival mode, if you've read anything to do with the brain, when we're in a survival mode, part of our brain, the rational part of our brain, don't work. So if you're still carrying that survival mode in your adulthood, then you're stifling yourself emotionally to grow. If you're still on that security mode, you're feeling so insecure because of the exposure that you had as a child, you still feel like you are feeling insecure. You're still carrying the most basic needs: security, survival, and safety. I just wanted you to be aware. And I also want to let you know that I really love you. I love you as a person. And you do not deserve what you went through. But you also have the responsibility to now grow. You're no longer a child. You have the responsibility to move away from survival, security, and safety, because you are now an adult. Remember, when you're a child, you spoke like a child, you thought like a child. But now that you're a woman or you're a man, put away those childish things and grow that child. You know, I used to think like cheating was the top of the greatest sin ever. But you know, I see people who cheat serially, who are serial cheaters now, as people who feel inadequate. And it's something to do with your childhood, you know. Perhaps, you know, like I said, maybe you had a dad who constantly called you names, never affirmed you, never showed love because they were wounded themselves. So you're looking for multiple partners to make yourself feel adequate. But that's not the right way. That's the child in you still feeling like you gotta survive, you gotta feel secure, you gotta feel safe. Now that you're a man, walk away from those ways and nourish that child that was stifled. Nourish that child that was stifled and thrive, because there's a new report that says that you're worthy, that you're enough, that you are everything that you can ever be. You know, they lie to you. Those interjects, the high school bullies, your aunt, the primary school bullies, where are they? Did you carry them with you? They don't deserve that space that you carried them. You're no longer a child, and you are more than enough. So I just came here to tell you that you're enough. And please walk away from the basic needs of survival, security, and safety, and grow the stifled child in you. Grow the stifled child in you. You don't have to stay the same way. Until next time, thank you so much for listening to me. And share this video if you know somebody who needs it, okay? So until next time, I appreciate you guys very much. And if you have another microphone, or if you can recommend to me a different microphone, I really love this one though. You can recommend, okay? So God bless you, and I hope you will begin to feel safe in this world again. I hope you will not continue to survive, but thrive and feel safe, okay? I love you so much. God bless you.